Title: Tifu. By putting my son to bed efficiently. I have a 2-year-old. He's fairly well potty trained at this point, at least during the day. At night he's still wearing pull-ups. My wife has been awesome about making sure that we develop routines about things like waking up, cleaning up after ourselves and bedtime. And when I say we, I mean routines for both me and my son, because he's 2 and my ADHD is about as stereotypically bad as it comes. You can bet this all happened because I failed to follow the routine. So most nights the routine is as follows: an alarm goes off at 7 o'clock, he uses the potty and we get a bath going. After the bath it's time to brush teeth and put on the pull-ups and pajamas. Then he picks 2 books for me to read and then into bed. Well, today we were out for a late afternoon hike and came in smelling pretty bad, so at about 6:30 we get home and hop directly in the shower. After the shower I figured there was no point in putting him into new clothes, so we just had him hop into his PJs. Here's where the F-up happened. In my infinite wisdom I decided that he didn't need a pull-up because we were gonna keep playing around for at least 30 minutes since we already saved so much time getting cleaned up, so I just put him in a regular pair of underwear. 7:15 rolls around, he uses the potty, brushes his teeth, and picks out our books to read and gets in bed. About an hour later, when he's normally passed out, we see, on the monitor, he's still rolling around trying to get comfortable. At this point I go in to see if I can get him to relax. As I open the door and walk over to his bed to adjust him, he turns his head to me and whispers, "Daddy, I had accident." My first thought is that I hadn't tightened up his water bottle enough and it had spilled a bit. That was until I went to move his blankets and felt the giant wet spot on his bed and that half his PJs are soaked. Immediately I went and felt for his diaper, thinking it had leaked. And that's when I realized I had completely forgotten to put one on him. Since he was already in his PJs when we went to brush his teeth and read his book, my brain just skipped over the part where I made sure that his pull-up was on. I felt like such a terrible father, especially since the way he told me about wetting the bed made it seem like he felt he was responsible for his accident. My wife immediately swooped in and helped change his sheets while I got him cleaned up and into some dry jammies. At which time he kept saying, "Sorry daddy." Broke my heart. He slept well the rest of the night. TLDR, thought I was being efficient about putting my son to bed, ended up getting laundry done early. Edit, added a couple of words in edit 2, "Good morning everyone. I wanted to say thanks for all the kindness this post has generated. There are tons of comments telling me not to stress too much about it, and I can assure you I'm not. While I did feel terrible in the moment, I know accidents happen and I did what a lot of you suggested in the moment and assures him that he did nothing wrong. I wrote the post shortly after the incident, so if I came off as being hard on myself, it was only because it had just happened and I still felt a bit bad. When you're the one that causes your kid any discomfort, no matter how minor or temporary, you feel bad. Title: TIFU. By making a blood bond with my kids, I was watching something my wife was watching. I'm not sure of the title, but 20 minutes of watching this white dude and Indian dude had become friends after being enemies. To bond their loyalty or whatever, they each slit their palms with a knife, and with a bleeding hand they shook, bonding their loyalty or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I did that with my kids, except I didn't actually cut their hand, I put ketchup on a plastic knife. So all day they've been telling me things like, "Hey blood brother," "What's up blood dad," and a few other things which I thought is whatever. Well, my lady goes outside to smoke a cigarette and my kids and I join her to socialize, run around or whatever. Well, my neighbor's son got out of prison like 3 days ago and there have been some super sketchy people around our area ever since. My youngest, who is 3, has this thing where every single person she meets, sees or talks to his her best friend, so here comes walking up the stairs this dude with tats all over him, typical jailhouse bod, and my youngest runs up to him and is like, "What's up blood?" Yo, my wife and I cracked up so hard and this dude wasn't laughing at all. He was trying to talk to me aggressive, serious, and was like, I can't quote it, but it was like, "Yo, you think that's cute dog, you wanna disrespect the hood, you want to get crammed." This didn't help at all because I don't know what crammed means, neither did my wife, but we just laughed even harder. At this point the neighbor's son came out, some girl and another dude. Their friend is all pissed off and my wife and I plus my kids are basically laughing in this guy's face. They get all in my face and I'm now starting to realize I'm being stupid. This guy and his friends are getting aggressive, which is fine with me, but my 3 kids are out with me with my ill wife and limit patio space. So I basically just tell my wife and kids to go inside, tell the man I'm sorry you got offended, but what my kids said was random and funny. Also I said that it didn't help you said you were gonna cram me, which IDK who talks like that, it was hilarious. When I said that the girl with them chuckled, I couldn't help but smirk. I just told him if we got problem let me know, otherwise we're cool, it's not a big deal. Nothing ended up happening, they ended up all going inside. Man, I wanted to so badly leave with a "take it easy blood" or some smart ass comment, but yo, I was so fucking scared. I talked big, but I knew that ass whoopin' would have been swift, painful and embarrassing. Yeesh. Title: Tifu by using dry shampoo instead of showering. Obligatory. This didn't happen today, but last year. So let's start with the day I obtained the dry shampoo. I'm a huge fan of Dove products, although I've never dabbled in their dry shampoo game. I am also a huge fan of apple-scented items, and was absolutely thrilled to see a Fuji apple-scented dry shampoo, sporting the new sticker loud and proud at an end cap of my local Target aisle. Y'all, I snatched that up faster than a speeding ticket. At home I still had about half of a can of my go-to brand of dry shampoo. That half of a can should go quickly, as I am the queen of having intentions to shower at the ass crack of dawn of a morning shift, and instead grabbing my trusty little can of dry shampoo to do the job, thus enjoying an extra 45 minutes of sleep and cuddles with my dog. Well, the day has finally come, as my trusty brand of dry shampoo has run empty, sputtering out its last puffs of life and powder, coating my hair enough to be brushed through and ready for my day. 2 days later I have an appointment. My hair is a tad greasy, and we had been shockingly bestowed with a warm day in the beginning of spring, too warm for a hat in Vermont. My hair wasn't even screaming for the dry shampoo, but my heart was. It's not even noticeably greasy, but that Fuji apple dry shampoo I had been dying to use. Yes. It's time. I do my whole routine, generously spray on the dry shampoo, let that sit while I do my makeup, and then get ready to brush it out and leave. Yet I look at my hair and it is far greasier than when we began. Excuse me, Dove, I have never been upset at a result of your products. What is this? So I look at the can, trying to scan for something I may have done wrong. Was I not supposed to shake it? Did I not hold it far away enough from my head? No. I did everything right, except the part where I sprayed it on my head because I bought deodorant. I bought spray on deodorant and sprayed it onto my head. In the end I had to shower twice and was an hour late to my appointment. I was blinded by the Fuji apple and the giddiness that the Target run had done to me. Title: Tifu by sleeping through an important meeting with the person who will be deciding on my application for a promotion. This happened this afternoon, but I only realized later in the evening, so I'm now sitting on the toilet feeling a bit ill about what will happen tomorrow. As everyone the world over who is working from home can probably relate to, there is a certain flexibility about the hours I work at the moment due to this global pandemic. I'm not one for taking the piss and always make sure to work my full hours, although to be honest, I've actually been working on average an extra 10 hours every week for the past 7 months because we've been crazy busy. Either way, I often take breaks in my regular work hours to do household chores, or play with my daughter or go for a swim. Today I had worked from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. without any of those breaks, and it was spent cleaning up client data that wasn't my fault, but had to be cleaned up. My brain was melted and I'd started to get a bit of a headache, so when my wife called to say that she was in the car downstairs with our 2-yo asleep in the back seat, I knew it was a great opportunity to get a quick nap in and be recharged for a few more hours of work later in the afternoon. So I jumped in the car and parked around the corner in the shade and leaned the seat back, falling asleep to the gentle snores of my daughter in the car seat beside my head. What was meant to be a quick nap turned into almost 2 hours of a deep sleep, only broken by a call from my wife wondering what was going on. I slowly stirred my daughter awake and let her pretend she was driving the car for a few minutes, so she wouldn't wake up grumpy, and then slowly walked her back home. Instead of getting back to work straight away, I started preparing dinner and only sat back down at my computer after putting my daughter down for sleep at 7:30 p.m. The first thing I saw was an instant message flashing from the department head asking if I was coming to the meeting, and my stomach sunk like a stone being dropped off a cruise liner right down to the very bottom of the Marianas Trench. This was a meeting I'd been pushing for weeks and was integral to a project I was working from getting the buy-in from some other departments of the organization. I'd somehow forgotten all about it when I went down for a quick nap in the car. I opened my emails with dread and saw one from her again asking if I was coming to the meeting, with my manager copied in. No doubt when I finally build up the nerve to check my phone, I'll find an SMS and a voicemail asking the same question. Where are you? Why aren't you at this meeting? Compounding this foo is that because of how much our work has expanded due to coronavirus, my role is being split off into multiple roles, and there is a national manager role being developed to lead this new team. Applications open this week, and while I've got the most experience and expertise in this area, the national manager position isn't a given to be mine. While I know the department head likes me and thinks I'm a good worker, I've certainly got the vibe that she doesn't think I'm a good fit for the national manager role. Particularly because I made an offhanded comment a few months ago that I hadn't gotten any real work done that day because I'd been in meetings all day, to which she replied, "You know, for some people meetings are their real work, right? And this role would involve a lot of meetings with external stakeholders, funders, government departments, etc." So now I'm still in the bathroom feeling like I've just shot myself in the foot, and the last 2 years of hard slog is going to lead to someone else getting a role that my hard work has created, who will come with their own ideas and take us in a completely different direction.